Let's get the read from the former aide Maggie Thatcher on all of this. Nile Gardiner. Nile, you know, all of this is coming at the same time. A number of people are sending their regrets to this Royal Kingdom event in Saudi Arabia. The latest, of course, Christine Lagarde of the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. It's a who's who of people who are supposed to show who are not going to show now. What do you think?
Well, that's right, Neil. I think the outlook for the Saudi investment conference later this month isn't particularly rosy at this time. And with Christine Lagarde's withdrawal, is just the latest from major financial institutions. Also, a lot of investment banks, financial firms have withdrawn from this conference. It isn't clear yet whether Steven Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, will attend or not. I think that decision is going to be made later this week by the White House. But certainly this is a very bad time in terms of the image of Saudi Arabia on the world stage. Although it has to be said, we don't have, as you pointed out earlier, I mean, all of the facts here. We don't have the audio evidence yet released by Turkey, and I think
you know
certainly
who does,
the view of
Niall? I'm sorry, who does? I mean, I get disputed reports about others who might have seen this or what, but everything is traceable to Turkey. They have it. They say they have it. Yeah. But apparently they're not sharing it. But maybe you can enlighten me.
That's a very good point, Neil. And according to press reports in London indicate that basically government-backed newspapers in Turkey are the ones who have spoken about this audio tape released. Turkey is not a free country by any stretch of the imagination in terms of its media. Hundreds of journalists are actually locked up inside Turkey. So it's government-backed media in Turkey who have made this announcement, but we haven't actually seen this audio tape released yet. And I think certainly the Trump administration is calling for all of the evidence to be released before they make any determination about action taken against Saudi Arabia.
You know, a lot of people are saying there is enough to the Crown Prince's past and his, imprisoning, albeit in a very fancy hotel, all of his brothers and cousins and extracting money and ransom from them, that he's not exactly Father O'Malley here. But having said that, is it an opportunity for the U.S., regardless of this, to reassess a kingdom that flouts, normal procedure, imprisons people left and right? You had a lot of reasons prior to this alleged incident to say, we're tied too close at the hip with this guy.
Yeah, my sense is that if it is demonstrated that Saudi Arabia had a role in the assassination of Mr. Khashoggi, then I think you're going to see very strong condemnation from the United States. You could see potentially targeted U.S. sanctions against specific individuals within the Saudi government, for example. What I don't expect you're going to see, I think, is a wholesale, downgrade in terms of the U.S.-Saudi relationship, because that partnership is incredibly important for the United States at this time in terms of confronting the Iranian threat. And I think that's the top priority in the Middle East for the Trump White House at this time. So I don't think you're going to see a complete change in the U.S.-Saudi relationship. However, I think the United States is going to call for specific individuals to be held to account if indeed Saudi Arabia is behind this killing, as Turkey alleges. But also I think that there's going to be a bigger focus, without a doubt, from the U.S. and the entire world upon human rights issues inside Saudi Arabia itself. This could perhaps be a turning point, I think, in terms of international scrutiny with regard to the behavior of the Saudi regime and its own human rights record.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Good catching up with you. Nile Gardiner, the former aide to the great Maggie Thatcher.